Let's face it, once you make it to your 40s, love is not about proving anything, but it's about protecting your peace. And I can say that I am a victim of it right now. It's all about boundary setting and non-negotiables. So for me, at 40, let's just back. At the late 30s, I found who I thought was it. It for the third time, mind you, but not the third marriage, second marriage. And I meet this guy, he seems safe, and I kind of like wanted to protect this relationship, so I didn't put it on social media. I did not talk to my family about it. I told you about it. And we dated on the low for like a year, and then like right at 365, he proposes, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I finally met my fairy tale. This guy, like, there was some yellow flags that came out. I talked to my therapist about it, and she was like, these flags are red, they're yellow, Sade. Everybody comes with the yellow flag. We get married, we move in together, and shit just ain't right. And all of my boundaries, I'm throwing them up there, and he crushing them down. I'm throwing them out, he crushing them down. I'm throwing them out, he crushing them down. And I find myself right now going through an annulment because my peace is everything.
And I agree, peace is important, because at this age, you know, if you want to live, we're 40. So if you want to live a long life, you got to be in a peaceful environment. So my 40s look different from yours, again, because I've never been married, you know, and I was single up until I just got in this recent relationship, which we dated what, 6 months?
7 months.
Yeah, 6 or 7 months before we even chose to commit to each other. And then we've only been in a committed relationship like 2 months now. So it hasn't been a very long time, but it seems like it's been longer because we've met a year ago.
Yeah.
So,
but what I love about it is that, if you know, like, you meet somebody, you're dating them, and then everybody's so pressed to put commitment on it. And what I love what you guys did is you guys got to see you guys.
What you said?
All the way in there.
Yes.
Before you even said we're together.
Right. And that I feel like that was needed, because a lot of times people will get into things and they don't really know who that person is and haven't really seen how that person can be. But with me and him, he actually saw me
do her thing.
I think everybody saw it.
Yes. But Rocky! It's still the family joke.
But I feel like that's important, like, in a relationship, because then at that moment you know if you can deal with that or if you can be with that person, because you've seen everything that they can do, would do, willing to do, and you know if I can deal with this.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's huge. Like, we need to, like, slow it down. Like, when you meet a person, it's like you like this person, you feel them butterflies, you're all excited, you want to see them all the time. And then some of us are like rushing to put a label on it.
Right.
And it's like you just sat in it gracefully.
I did.
And then it was people like out there like, oh, he hasn't committed yet. You need to let him go.
Let it go.
Let it go. And I'm like, no, just sit there. I like what's happening here.
Right.
Be patient, because I was already married. Again.
He was at the wedding.
That's when I met him, and I'm like, oh, this is the one. This is the one.
He was at the wedding. So.
But I want to talk to you about, what are your boundaries that you set for yourself in a relationship?
Boundaries that I set for myself.
Yeah, like a boundary that is a hard boundary that you have for you, that you have to take with you inside of a relationship.
I'm gonna let you answer that one first.
Okay. So for me, a boundary that I already had for myself before I was in my relationship, that I had to take into my relationship, is that my phone goes on do not disturb at 9 p.m. So nobody can get through. You can get through, my sister can get through. When I was married, he could get through, but no one could get through.
Okay.
So in the dating phase with him, it was a time where he was like, well, I can't get through. And I'm like, well, this is a hard boundary that I have. I don't really want anybody calling my phone this late, because I'm momming at that time. I'm doing bed, like around 8 o'clock, my house unplugs. We're doing bedtime, we're doing bath. It's that one-on-one time with my kids, and because my lifestyle is so hectic and busy, I really don't want anybody having access to me. So that's a boundary that I had in my personal life before him, and then something that he had to I had to integrate him into when we were dating.
Okay. So for me, I don't know how they're gonna feel about this.
Who cares?
Tell it all. For me, I'm gonna say a hard boundary, like splurging on a man. That was a hard no for me.
Okay.
Because the way that coming up and how I was raised, I feel like spending money on a man and doing all this, they call it tricking. It ain't tricking
if you got it.
I ain't got it. So
speaking of this, you will have it. You'll have it.
now that I got it, I still don't want to trick out.
Okay.
But you know, I feel like that was probably one boundary that, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like it's slowly starting to break a little bit.
Okay.
Because again, like I said, if I'm out and I'm seeing something, and I want to give my man something, or if I want to buy it, I feel like, of course, nothing wrong with that. But when it's like, if the man is saying, hey, can you pick this up, or can you do this, and then to me it's like, no, why do I need to do it?
And that goes back to the conversation earlier that I need him to come in and make my life softer.
Right.
I don't want him coming in and needing me to take care of everything.
Right. So I think if we're talking about a boundary that was a hard boundary to take it to something, I would say that spending money on a man.
Okay. So my next boundary that I've had for a very long time is before I'm intimate with the man, they have to go get tested.
Okay.
Like,
and I know your situation with it.
Yeah.
So.
That was one, and it's like, in the dating world, when you're like, you know, you feeling somebody and you want to talk to them and you guys want to go and get down, and I'm like, so when was the last time you got them papers and the test? And it kind of cut a few guys off.
Wow.
It was just kind of like, well, I'm clean, and I'm like, well, how do you know?
Especially if you ain't got tested.
Exactly. And they're like, well, I was with the same woman for this long and she never said she
don't
did
care.
anything, and I'm like, don't care.
Right.
So like, it would literally like make it easy for people to fall off, and then those who were willing to, then maybe I was willing to. So that's been a boundary that I've always had and I've kept throughout the years.
I don't think nothing wrong with it. I think that's a really good boundary. I think that's one of the boundaries that just knowing, because of course you're my cousin, so we have those kind of conversations. That was kind of something that I put into this last relationship that I'm in now, and he was okay with it. So I feel like when we both did that and we shared paperwork and it was good, so I feel like that's like a great boundary to have. It's just, it's not as safe as it's never been safe.
No.
It's never been safe. But a lot of people don't want to protect themselves, and they have multiple partners, and these people have multiple partners, and they have multiple partners, and then that's how come so many people right now, I mean, the HIV rate is high as it's ever been. I mean, and it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
So another boundary that I have, and this kind of goes back to what we talked about in the last one also, is like being called a bitch. And this is a boundary for my friends, for my family. I just don't like it. It's fighting words for me, and I just don't like it. So I'll break up with you over it.
I can definitely say that's a boundary for her, because being from where we're from, that's just like slang. That's just like term of endearment.
That's what Donald Trump said. It's term of endearment. Don't call it to me.
Endearment, you know, from where I'm from. You know, what's up, bitch? Hey, bitch, what you doing? You know, so that's kind of like the conversation that we had, and no one is offended by it. But I know that it offends her, so I don't want to use that with her. Sometimes it slip out, but I don't want to use that with her like I would use with her sister.
Yeah, my sister, I hear y'all be like, what's up, bitch? What's up, hoe? And I'm like, so those are my boundaries. And you know, now that you say that, my ex, he literally was like, this is a term of endearment. I'm like, it didn't sound like it coming from you. Because you didn't say how my sister and my... What?
You a bad bitch or not?
I'm a bad lady.
What he was saying, like it's
a term of endearment, and I'm like, but it didn't sound like it. The way he said it was like so like, ugh, like bitch, and I'm like, oh my god, like
that ain't a term of endearment. If you saying it in an argument, if you saying it when you mad, that's not a term. Now if I walk up to you and I'm like, what's up, bitch? Girl, bitch, let me tell you what happened. Then that's different. But if it's like you pissed off and you yelling, bitch, what you doing, bitch? No, that is not a term of endearment. That is you calling me a bitch and now we finna fight.
Exactly. This is fighting words for me, no matter what. So this next thing I want to talk about is like us like talking about blended families, life experiences. So like me, I'm a mom of 2.
Okay.
Got married in June. Getting an annulment. Y'all clap for me. Send a praise up to the heavens that the judge says yes. Anywho, and blending my family and having a stepson, I loved it. It was so awesome to like be able to pour into something to another child that wasn't necessarily biologically mine, but I got the opportunity to love. But then on the other side, and watching my ex parent my kids was like the most frightening thing I ever experienced before.
Wow. So for me, I'm nervous about it.
Are you?
I'm nervous about blending the family. And the reason is because that the relationship that I'm in now, we both have older children. So it's harder with dealing with teenagers, whether it's his daughters or whether he's dealing with my sons, because they're 17 and 14, they're 18 and this. So it's hard to try to come into someone else's life and create some type of structure and boundary for kids that are already so old. So, you know, it's hard and it's scary, and I'm nervous about it because I don't want to be in a situation where, you know, a child is being disrespectful, or, you know, how is that going to be handled? Is he going to handle, like, so that is kind of scary for me. I still would definitely love to like have some type of relationship and, you know, meet them more than just on FaceTime since they're in a different state.
Yeah.
But it's kind of I'm kind of nervous about it.
I can understand that. So even for us, like when we were blending, like I already like met my ex stepson. I don't even know the proper term for it. Don't counsel me.
And he's young.
He's young,
right?
But also blending with the mother.
Ooh,
that was hard. And I tried to like reach out, be respectful. We talked to the church. They gave us tips on how to reach out, and she was not having it. She's like, I'm not talking to you. I don't owe you nothing. You are not the mother. You are not this. And I'm like, but I have your son 50% of the time. And I just want to come to a common ground so that we can have our vacation scheduled, the school scheduled, the weekends. I want to make sure you're getting child support. I want to make sure that he's taken care of. And it was just so hard to like cross that front. And it seemed like maybe like, I think, it was like maybe almost 2 years into the relationship, she finally was like, okay, you're here, you ain't going nowhere. And then I do stop.
Just to kind of talk to you about that situation, I feel like dealing with a baby mom is just always going to be difficult.
Why?
I don't know. It's because some women are just not, you know, they're not really not over their exes. I don't care if they moved on. I don't care what life is throwing at them. It's just, they have this, I don't know, like they have to be into it with the next woman that comes into their child's father's life for no reason, because you should want to have some type of relationship with that woman, because again, like you said, you're in my child's life. So my child is, if I want to make sure my kid is safe, so of course I'm going to communicate with you and have those conversations with you, and to me it shouldn't be any beef if there's no feelings there.
And that's the same thing I was feeling, because when I think about my ex-husband, if he meets a woman, I'm going to be like, hey girl, this is my daughter's doctor's office, this is this. Like if he ever he's dated many women, but not like made that commitment where he's like, hey, you guys need to meet. But I'm like open, no drama, let's raise this kid together. And it was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I feel like in this situation, if a woman is still like, if she's angry at the next woman that's after her, or I'm sure you probably want even the next woman that's after her, not just even speaking on your situation, I feel like it's still something there. And it could have been where they maybe was still kind of intertwined, and whether they want to say it or not, it's probably something that was going on. And then now that he's actually fully moving on and some other woman is coming into it, she has a problem.
A huge problem.
So I don't know. I mean,
blended families can be tough.
they can. Like, I'm nervous about it.
I saw on social media where they had like those videos where it was like the mom, the dad, the stepdad, the stepmom, the kids. I'm like, maybe we can do that kind of thing, and then that did not happen. I'm at the soccer game, and I'm like,
So that don't be happening in real life. It's social media.
It's fake. So the next one is choosing companionship versus chaos. And that can happen in your 40s.
Back to those red flags.
They're yellow. Remember?
Back to those red flags. Because if you're choosing chaos, you are choosing red flags. Because a lot of times they be there. We just choose to overlook them.
What do you think makes us overlook them?
Look, I think that because we want this to work so bad.
Okay.
I want this to work so bad. I don't want to be by myself. I want to love. I want a relationship. I want this. I want that. And you overlook everything that's
happening.
They throwing them at you like this.
And then we're here like, well, this one isn't too red. It's just yellow.
Again, we
how do you never get the yellow flags?
We ride red flags like a roller coaster.
But what if they're yellow flags to you? What if they're not red flags?
I don't know no yellow flags.
So when I was talking to my therapist about it, she said there's green flags, there's red flags, and then there's yellow flags. And she said 90% of us, if you have worked on yourself, you're respectful, you're compassionate, you want to love,
empathy.
You have empathy, you are a yellow flag.
Right.
Because we all have flags, and then everybody also has some red flags. So the things that, like, even in my case, full transparency, I was like, hey, this happened. And then she's like, well, how did you guys navigate through the situation? I'm like, we sat down and we talked about it. It wasn't a fight, it was an argument. She's like, okay, that's a yellow flag.
Okay.
So, like, everything leading up to the marriage was all yellow. Because it wasn't a blow up. It wasn't in your face. It wasn't all these things.
So, you know how I'm going to look at what I'm going to say? What do you do at a yellow light?
Pause. Slow down.
Because you know they're red.
Or you run right through it before it turns red.
Because you know that life finna get ready and do what?
Turn red.
So, I feel like that's kind of what
Damn, that was deep right there. Yes.
I feel like, so in that moment, that's kind of how we have to think about these things. Yes, it's a yellow flag. It might not be red in that moment. But if you think about, you know what I'm saying, a traffic stop, what are you doing at a yellow light?
My client, we literally just had this conversation earlier, and she said, you know, I'm a very precautious driver. When it turns yellow, I stop. I said, so for me, it depends. If it's a person turning into traffic, I'm gonna stop. But if it's a straight, like, just we're going straight, we're going vertical, this person's going horizontal, I'm gonna go. But if
that yellow light.
If my kids in the car, I'm gonna stop at the yellow.
So to go back to me, now think about it.
Just keep it
so now
going.
just think about what you just said. Use that metaphor. If your kids are in the car, which your kids are with you in any relationship.
Yep.
If your kids are in the car and that light turns yellow, what are you gonna do?
Slow down.
All right. Slow down. Pay attention.
Enough said. Okay, so next topic is self-worth. Now, when you think about your self-worth in your 20s, your self-worth in your 30s, and then wrapping it back around to your 40s, where do you find your self-worth at right now?
At the highest that it's ever been at.
Tell me about it.
At the highest that it's ever been at. Only because, again, in my 20s, I was just out here partying, living life.
Doing her thug.
I was out here living life, you know, partying, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, messing with multiple men and, you know, just out here in these streets, baby. I was outside.
I was inside, locked up in somebody's wife.
So I feel like, you know, in my 20s, I probably didn't I wasn't even worried about self-worth.
You weren't?
No, I was too busy trying to club and have fun and live life and, like I said, messing with multiple men and whatever made me happy or thought I was happy or felt good, I was doing it. And then as I started, like I said, coming from the last relationship that I was in and that traumatic experience taught me, like, okay, no. Now, okay, let's stop, let's pause, let's think about this. So at that moment is when I started to be like, no, you you too good of a woman for this. You deserve better. You this, you that. And then it's still dating and meeting guys. You know what I'm saying? I start to pay attention like, no, you too good for this. You too good for that. Let's move on. Let's cut it off. Let's do this. Let's do that. And that's kind of how I went through my 30s. And then now here I am. It's like I'm at the top of the food chain, baby. Like, because let me tell you, it's women. Yes, it's a lot of women out here. Yes, it's a lot of women that look good. Yes, it's a lot of women. But are women gonna show up for you? Are women gonna be your partner? Are women gonna bring anything to the table? Not just finances, but actually being there for you, having your back, being your backbone, being that shoulder that you need to cry on, like being that person for you. Are they gonna? No. Women want you to take them. They don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory.
I love the Cheesecake
I like
Factory.
Cheesecake
Give me
Factory.
some pot stickers, okay?
Like, you know,
Give me a banana
women
cheesecake.
are only looking for money, and that's
I want
it.
some money too, okay? I
Okay,
want a
we
partner
want-
and I want
But
some money.
we saying only, and they
not
want to
only.
mess with multiple men, and
I
they
don't
want to
wanna do
get
that.
what they get out of a man, and that's it. These women now that's coming up, they're not looking for love. They're not looking for husbands. They don't. All they want to do is party, drink Hennessy, or you know,
Some of them don't drink.
who?
Some of these new Gen Z, what are they
I
called?
don't see none of them. All I know, because my man, he still kind of club a little bit, and I see these young girls in there and they're drinking. They're like full of it. They want to be. They want to be in the section. They want to be around anything that looks like it's popping or popular. They're not looking for love. They're not looking for marriage. They don't even want to be married.
I know, they don't, marriage is like the X now. Kids are X, like that traditional, what do they call it, trad, it's like out.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like
She at the top of the food chain.
yes, I am, baby, because I'm bringing a lot to this table. Do you hear me?
She
I'm
is the
I'm
table.
bringing the table. Do you hear me?
You see
I'm
this
bringing the
beautiful
table
Yes.
and everything that's on it.
So for me,
Period.
when I think about self-worth in my 40s, I feel the same way as you.
Mhm.
I feel that I have a lot to offer.
Right.
I am a partner. I am compassionate. I have empathy. I've done the work mentally. I look good. I'm an excellent mother. I'm going to bring you up. But I want you to meet me where I'm at and us elevate together.
Right. I love
Also, like, I pour into myself. I take my self-care very high. I also like know exactly who I am, what I want, where I'll be, and where I'm going to be in a few years from now. So this actually is a part of where I'll be in a few years from now, and I get to share with my cousin. So as we wrap up our 30s, and we want to talk about, are you choosing peace? Are you choosing pressure? Or are you trying to prove anything to anybody? As always, like this post, share with your friends, drop your 30s and 40s dating experience in the comments.
Please, we would love to read it.
Thank you. I love it. You want some more wine?
Yeah.